did you say that you had another band that you were going to talk about playing this fest this year? Was there somebody else that's coming on board?
Yeah. Well, what I mean, as you see in the flyers that were before, there is it says a special guests in between the kids and Yuta on Friday.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. This is Jorge with Authentic Productions NYC out of New York City. Production company puts on shows and stuff, and he's throwing a fest this year in the summer. It'll be July 18th and 19th in New York City, and we just wanted to get on here today and kind of talk about that. It's pretty amazing lineup of bands. So yeah, we wanted to hang out and just talk for a little while.
We're doing this. The fest is gonna go on July 18 and 19. But in reality, like with the pre-show, we're gonna start like on July 17. Like we're gonna kick it off with Alvilda. We were gonna announce today, we're gonna have a special guest that night too, and then we're gonna have Lucy. We're gonna have Veneno, and we're gonna have this cat that is it's an interesting power pop band that is coming out of New York. Like some people that been in the scene for a while doing power pop, and it's gonna be really cool. That band is like it's their second show, I think. Then that day is a special one.
So is that somebody that you? What's the band's name? Or can we not announce it yet?
No. The band, like the special guest, no. But the band that I was talking about, the opener, is called This Cat, and it has some members that were part of the Baby Shakes, which is like I think one of the main power pop bands in the States in the last 20 years.
Actually, I know Baby Shake, not personally, of course, but I know Baby Shake's music. Um, that's awesome. So you and I actually met in Pittsburgh when I went up there for Skullfest, and I didn't know that until I like messaged you, and you were like, "Oh yeah, we've met before." And then I remember when you told me how, I was like, "Oh, I do remember talking to you. I just didn't know that was you when I was talking to you through an Instagram profile." So I'm excited to come up and just hang out in New York and just film a bunch of stuff, go around the city and just look at stuff. I've never been nowhere like that before, so I'm pretty excited. Um, Man, this lineup is bananas, dude. So I'll probably have the screen. We'll have the picture of the flyer on it right now.
Hmm.
So we've got amongst other surprise guests, we've got Judah, the Kids, Long Knife, Lost Legion, which is a band I've never seen, but I really enjoy their music. Uh, Liberty and Justice, Broken Cuffs, Crooks, Claim Choice, No Time, Concrete Elite, like and more. Like that's just the meat of the. That's an insane lineup, man. How'd you get all this worked out, or what made you want to do a fest like this? Because this is a lot of work.
Well, it's been a lot of work. It's like it's been work since last year since we did the number two, which it was a pretty cool time. And one of the main things that I've seen that I like about it is that we have a like a lot of friendship, a lot of like is more besides having the shows is the people that come from the bands. Our goal is to have good time with the bands, that the people that come create a relationship, and we build something that it's like oi music, skinhead related music, and punk hadn't been in the level that is now. But it also is kind of, I wanna also put music that is around it, that a lot of people don't see it that much. Like a lot of people might say, what is Judah playing in that show? And what I
Oh,
mean,
dude, they're so good.
but and it also they're inspired by glam. And
Right, right.
like what I mean, if you really live this subculture, is like half of us wouldn't be listening to this music without a slave. You know what I
Right.
mean? Then, and it also is kind of showing how people don't realize how skinhead culture, even more than punk, have been for over 50 years putting in the music imprint. Like because Slade was like like a band of skinheads that went into being like more glam, but they started by, and their fans and everything always been part of the skinhead culture. And people imagine like oi boys and just guys with tape heads and with some braces being violent or like not being, and it's not really about that. Actually, like it's about being working class and having pride of yourself, dressing nice, and also enjoying but sharing and having a good time. And that's for me more than the tough part. Is like I work my ass off. I want to have fun with my friends and kick it. But it also is we're humans. We're tribalists. Then we have certain like crews, cliques, and everything. But it's just part of. It happens to every subculture. Just by the fact of like a skinhead culture get more the name because it looks more violent.
Right, right. The perception is violence based on the aesthetics of skinhead culture, which, you know, somebody the other day, I just heard this. I don't know why I haven't heard it till now, but somebody said, how could skinhead culture be racist? You can't have skinhead without like black culture and African people. And I was like, man, that's really very accurate. So like the aesthetics may look a certain way, but that culture, and again, I'm speaking from outside looking in. I'm a punk rock kid, and I don't want to try to act like I'm somebody I'm not. But I hang around a lot of people from within the skinhead, culture, and it's exactly like punk rock. It's just mostly people that want to hang out, be with their friends, like you said, listen to music. Maybe you want to dance a little bit, but you want to shake off the work week, man. You get out there and loosen up a little bit. It is a lot about a camaraderie, man. It's important.
And like what I mean, punk is part of us too.
Right,
Like
right,
what I
right, right.
mean, it's for example, I think in a lot of places, I was looking at your videos and your relationship with the Clash. Okay, and
Yeah, that's a
yeah, well, like what I mean, there are bands that I probably never, and it's like, but it also has to do with a different geographics, because we love, like I'm from South America, we love the Ramones, we love these bands, but of the English speaking bands, the Clash said there is Latin America, there is Spanish, there is like Jamaican culture, and they were like within punk is like those guys have the same mentalities as us. Then let's also put them in their music, like regardless of, it's more like what I like of the Clash is that is the idea of uniting different things, and they are close to like also skinhead culture and all that. But it's more, and Rancid took the flag. Like what I mean,
right, right, right.
I'm from a generation that a lot of us were like, oh, they're so loud, they're in the radio, and like time bomb and everything. But I criticize that, but I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to dance to time bomb, but my little kid that too tough to dance the music that people put on the side didn't enjoy it as much. But that what I mean is Rancid, like all the music has connection.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think we all have bands like that where you were too proud to admit you liked it. You know, I was a big fan of Rancid. I got a lot of crap for that from punk purists when I was younger. But yeah, the older I get and the more I'm listening to this music and the more I look at the actions of the people that played the music, specifically speaking about the Clash, the more I realize how important they were. And I just think, man, I almost missed it completely. I'm 43, man. I almost didn't never get into them. I'm really glad that I was able to catch that somehow. But yeah, I mean, this culture is definitely about helping your community, I think, is like the bedrock of all of this stuff. Without that foundation, without the foundation of community, it all just falls apart. So like these fests are important. It brings a lot of people together. It gets a lot of bands in front of a lot of people that may not have seen them otherwise. Yeah, I'm happy you're doing this.
Yeah, and it also is like I think is opening minds and bringing what I mean. I I like a lot of oil, but also I wanna also bring the less, not the less, but the most um acceptable, like open-minded oil. You know what I mean? I want to have people that don't have a problem hanging out with punks, and like I want to have that have a clearer view of what is to be part of this, and how we as community need each other more than ever due to a
Hmm.
lot of things going on. And what I mean is, for me, this is my only like for a lot of people, like I get a lot of rap from my friends from my age, like you're still in that shit, you're still, because I like what I mean, especially coming from a culture like Colombia, and like you're supposed to go get a job and become an adult and listen to adult music and whatever.
Right.
Like what I mean, I'm like I unfortunately I got my knees, because I also like hardcore, and
Okay.
unfortunately I have problems with my knees. But I'm 45, 46, and I was like 4 years ago I was moshing too, and I
Let's
was
go.
I was like I wanted to stage dive and things like that. That is for kids. What I mean, it is also depends. I'm not gonna go to a show that is only 60-year-olds in a pit and go, because that's their space. You gotta know your place and the space in certain
Right.
history,
Right.
and
That-
allow to people to create a new thing. You know?
Dude, that is absolutely correct. When the more I do the channel and I'm filming stuff, the more I realize that there is two completely different punk rock scenes, at least down here in Houston. There's the scene that's like, let's say 33 or 34-year-old and up, and then there's like the 32 and younger, like the young adults all the way down into the teenagers. And it's like different bands, different scenes. Now, I want those scenes to come together occasionally, and I think fests like this promote that kind of behavior. But yeah, man, give them their space, but welcome people in at the same time. Unity is the one word that is the most important. I think we need more unity more now than we have in the last 30 years.
Yeah, but it also is, unity needs to be thrown out there, but real unity. Have like a real, because it's not like for example, all united but not helping each other. You know what I
Right.
mean? More like, because a lot of people throw the unity as a slogan. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like the same when a lot of people talk about fuck racism, and what I mean, yeah, you can say fuck racism, but if your actions in certain things in life are not according to that, it's like I know plenty of people that say fuck racism, but their actions in the daily life are the opposite.
Right.
Because it's not,
Unfortunately, we probably both know a lot of people like that. Sorry.
well, we have, like what I mean, I personally think we all have racism in some level. It's just that now it's like an insult. Then people don't talk what is wrong with it, because people are like, oh, I'm not. And it's not about that. It's about sharing our views and getting to a point that we understand the other person, what is going, the other's struggle, and that's it. But the idea is, I grew up in the punk rock scene in Colombia first, but then I moved to New York when I was 20. Then, and I came on my own. I
Oh
didn't have
wow.
my family. I didn't spoke my language, but I came to a place called ABC No Rio, you know?
Oh yeah.
And when I mean, a lot of people, I know they're like sometimes too PC for a lot of people, and I understand that. But it's like, it also in our community, we don't have to throw each other things. Oh, these people are political and that's their space. We're not as political as them. We have our space, and they have the rules, we have our rules. Like what I mean is like, I go to your house, I have to respect that your is your house, and the same between, and you don't we don't have to this like those points need to be thrown at each other. And when I came to ABC, they were really supportive of the Latino community, and it also the building was more than punk. It was like it had a lot of services. Like I know punk rockers that got out of that place careers because they had a silk screening process, all these things. And I come from, but then I went into when I got went into the New York hardcore community, and I find other things. There were different points of view, but all that it has shown me that there is common points that can be brought together. And I went also to the street punks. Like I had a problem with alcohol, and for a while, then in my days off, I would drink with the kids in the yard, and with like when I was at the bar at the end of the night. Like I was out
Hmm.
and about because I care about also the kids. Then I seen both. Like I was understanding also the kids that were younger than me. Then it just brought me a little view. It got to a point that I had to stop drinking because it went nuts and like drugs. But and I had to leave New York for like 10 years to feel safe.
Oh
And,
wow.
but it's going to July, I'm going to be 13 years sober.
July I hit 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 12 years sober in July. So that's
Yeah.
cool,
And
man. Good for you.
and like what I
Congratulations.
mean, this fest and these things are doing are a testament of me continuing to be me regardless of sobriety, because a lot of people think that being a punk, being a skin, being a hardcore kid, and sobriety, unless you're straightish, doesn't meet.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, but a lot of people think they're like, if you're a punk, you gotta drink and all these things. And it's it's like I have gone so far by being like, this gives me the space to be in punk and not thinking in like, oh, I'm missing out drinking. No, I'm busy building this, and nothing makes me more happy than when I'm in a stage, like at the side of the stage, looking at the people and seeing the smiles of people, seeing the people jumping out of a stage, people just enjoying and seeing music. Like for me, is my life. It's like last week, 2 weeks ago, Homefront play, and I was in the front, because and that's it's for a lot of my generation. Oh, it's a new band. For me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's it's a band that is keeping us alive. Like what I mean, I don't say we don't need to gatekeep sometimes, but we need to do a good gatekeeping, like keeping our community tight and don't being an asshole to the kids that are coming in
100%.
welcoming them. But there is other things that we also have to not allow.
Well, I
That's
mean, if you do it responsibly in the right way, it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just got a negative reputation now. It's a hot buzzword, you know. Gatekeep always sounds negative, even when it's not. But yeah, I mean, we got to stay listening to fresh modern music, and if you can intertwine that with some classic stuff, that's even better. But so you can't. You said you're from Colombia. What got you? Excuse me. How did you get started into punk music back in Colombia?
what I mean. I gotta say that a lot of it has to do with the Clash.
Okay.
A lot of has to do with Scatu, and also there is this band that it's a weird band from they they are from France. The singer is like his father, called Mano Negra, Black Hand Mano Negra.
I don't know them.
The singer is kind of famous, but he plays like more softer things, Manu Chao.
Okay.
And but they were like in Colombia. Took they got grants from the French government, and they took a train and they painted all, and they create an express, and they were like driving through, like they went in a train across the country playing, and they were like a band that what had Rastafarians, punks, rockers in the same band. It was a huge, it was like a collective, but that brought a lot of attention. And I started looking at what they like, what they, and like the Clash was one of their like they were highly political, and people don't like to mention the politics in the Clash, but
Yeah.
it is
Well, they
like
were like they were the political band for a while. They were like the most political out of all the early punk bands. What was that band you were just talking about? The one you said was like a collective?
a mano negra, like black hand in Spanish.
Awesome. I gotta look
They,
into that.
they have like psychobilly, it's like Latin music. They even have some. They even have some like gypsy punk, but faster. Before like they are like precursors before Gogol Bordello and all that thing of the fusion punk.
Okay.
You
Nice.
know that
Sorry.
it, they were big in, and then I started to see like punks around, and then I kind of walk away because it was kind of a violent scene, like. And then in 1997, the kids of my neighborhood, the younger kids, created a ska band, and
Okay.
I started going to the shows, and I wanted to be like supportive, and I kind of became their manager. I got them a couple shows, like when I mean that's how, and I start booking shows. But then also my more DIY, like I got more into like doing more. And in '98, all of a sudden I had a crazy idea to book a fest, and it was like just with like notebook, asking other bands phones and calling people, and just built a 2-day fest. Like what I mean, out of like I had done like 10 shows probably max, and I was 18, 19, putting a show, like putting a festival, and
Dang.
it was kind of crazy because it was it's called like it was in Holy Week, like you know what I
Okay.
mean. And in Colombia at the time, Holy Week was nothing, and it was like my parents' friends, my parents thought I was doing a sacrilege by putting that, but I put it like I remember Tuesday and Wednesday because those, like you had the spring break week, but those were the days that were not like were not religious 100%, and I
Okay.
put it. But from that week was crazy, and I also got from Medellin, one of the oldest punk rock bands that it was an 80s band, and it was so difficult to travel that they never had been in Bogota, and they were in Medellin, and it was the first time there. And that week bars open Friday and Thursday. It was funny because we were at a bar on Holy Friday, and the police show up like 10 times because they didn't have anything to do the whole night.
Because nobody was doing anything. What was that
No,
band that you said went to for the first time?
IRA, IRA.
I'm writing all this stuff down. That's amazing, dude. That to be that age and to only have 10 or so shows under your belt and to put on a fest is a bold move. That's amazing. That was in Colombia?
Yeah, and
That's
it
crazy.
was weird because it's like I was trying to like I went to some school to take classes of I just graduated from high school. I was totally like not doing anything that I wanted. I wanted to be a sound engineer, but there was a school, but you had to be like a musician and pass audition, and I was like, no. Then I started like I went to some school that had like film and audio classes, and some guy that lived there was he lived in this barbecue place that had a huge parking lot, and I talked to him, and he's like, oh, we can do something there, and I just put it together, and it came out awesome. And it was in an area that was really kind of not like there was the red light district at the time, but I mean in red light district, like hookers on the streets, like was like 2 blocks away.
That's crazy.
And I put a lot of the bands. I unite people from Bogota is divided north and south. The south is the more poor area,
Okay.
and the north is like the more wealthy area. And I put bands from both sides, and I put from like dirt junkie gutter punks to like kids that were like into skate punk that were clean cut in the same bill. Like it was in the same fest on 2 days. It was amazing. But it was a lot of work. Like
I imagine.
I was like, I fucking don't know what I'm getting. Like I didn't know what I was getting into, but I don't know. I always in that type of thing. I always been ballsy, but I also I'm not gonna lie. I always had a baby face, which it saved me more in the streets than being tough.
Right.
Like it was like he's a nice guy, and I always like was able to get, and I still somehow get my way. Be like I what I mean. I've been in situations that are crazy and places that are crazy, but I'm like just kind of being nice gotten me away more than being a tough guy or anything.
I mean, being nice is a very valuable trait. I would rather be around a nice guy than a tough guy anytime. So, but I mean, when you treat somebody a certain way, if you're kind, that tends to come back to you. So if you treat people with respect, most likely you'll get treated with respect in return.
Yeah, and it was weird because I from then I met like there was this group of skinheads in Colombia were more political, like they were kind of red skinned, what people call red skin, but they were like they were part of the scene, but they also were doing shows for the regular people. Like they would put in punk bands in a neighborhood, like would block party, and like they were like in a society that is so conservative and that had so much violence. Bogota like Colombia was violent at that time. And what I mean, I had a in '94, I had a bump a block away from my house. Yeah,
Damn.
like Pablo Escobar's time. Like a lot of Americans glorify that motherfucker, but
I don't understand that.
we lived a time like if there is a movie you want to write it down, Rodrigo D, No Future. It's from the '80s in Medellin, and it's basically about the life of some punks that were at the same time involved with cartel, like being hitmen for the cartel of for really
Oh,
poor area.
wow.
Like what I mean, there was and punk and hardcore in Colombia are not that new. It's like '84 there were bands, '83,
Oh, wow.
and like what I mean, one of the crazy things I said is like in Bogota, the first skinhead crew was vegan, straight edge in 1989, like
Damn.
before Air Crisis. Like what I mean, it was like something that you would say, "Oh, Air Crisis inspired." It was that was before that.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, like this, but it's the violence of the city that brought a lot of things into it. Like I think there is a parallel between like Bogota and New York because of it. And but being in such a violence and such a poverty was what driven me into this whole movement of being into punk and ska and oi. Like it's just I think sometimes we need people that take the good of hard times into productive things. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
from hard times becoming positive. Like
Yeah, I mean, well, you
um,
can create a lot of beautiful music through pain, and I think that one of the most common threads throughout punk and skinhead and ska, all those cultures, one common thread would be poverty. Like everybody that I know that has been in it for their whole life has all been relatively poor. And if they make decent money, they didn't do it till much later in life. They didn't grow up with a lot of money. And I mean, that's where all these songs come from. That's where this attitude comes from. If you're poor, you have to deal with the police more often, I would think. And if you're dealing with them more often, you're going to have a negative experiences, and you're going to write these songs. It's class. It's a different class of people, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that some kid with money can't be on, you know, on the same level, but it's a lot harder to understand where some of us are coming from if you know, we're rich.
well, but it also sometimes is like people that have a different situation, because when I moved to New York, like what I mean, I'm not gonna say I wasn't like I was a middle class in Colombia. My parents came from down, but they were like trying to give us the best life. But through situations home, I wasn't able to like I had to run from home.
Okay.
And I was like like in Colombia, if you get a job that is working class job, you're gonna live bad. You don't live well. And I was coming from a middle class, and I wanted to give myself a better like a life. And I had a sister in Pennsylvania,
Mm.
and I used to be like, no, like I wanted to go to Europe, and like we had that mentality that US it was like just burgers, buying, 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 and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were thinking like
There's plenty
people.
of places like that.
Yeah, but it's like for us was like more like we live in an Eurocentric society, but it's also kind of messed up because we look up to education and all these things that are not real. It's just snobism. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but when Americans are like really working class, and for us we're like kind of more less intellectual. But
Okay.
I came here, and I came to the Lower East Side for first time. I remember I go to a Vicino Rio, and at the time punks were kind of scared of skins. And I go to the train, and I didn't speak well English, and I didn't want to get lost, and I just followed this punk kid. And he was like thinking like, what the fuck? Is this guy gonna attack me, or like what's going on? But then I go to the place, and I start going to some like like I'm a privileged person. Like I am a privilege into the punk scene, because this gave me the best times of my fucking life. Introduced me to people that I'm like, when I was 15, I saw like what I mean, for I don't know, for somebody to see the biggest star for me was so far away. Like if 5-year-old me says I'm gonna be in New York, I'm like, yeah, whatever, like yeah, and you're gonna fly, you know, like what I mean. It was something that was intangible, and for me, this is like surreal sometimes, because
Dude.
I really appreciate this what I have. Like what I mean. I remember watching like 10, 11 in the educational channel. They show a documentary on CBGBs, and it was more like the parties meet CBGBs. But I remember seeing that place, and like I'm like I want to be like there was something that caught me from that place. And also like with New York, I remember somebody in the family had a poster of the Manhattan Bay, and I just all the realized that's a place that I wanted, and I have the goal to live. And i I don't have much money or anything, but I have fulfilled my dreams, you know. And it's thanks to punk, thanks to tattoos. Like I mean, my apartment is somebody from the scene that I'm from the tattoo scene that believed in me because of that, not because my credit or anything like that. It's because he saw me on the shows, he saw me getting tattooed, and that's like what I mean. I owe. That's why I do the shows too, because I owe to this my life. Like I just think that if I hadn't found punk rock, oi, ska, I had been probably I had committed suicide a while ago, because I'm bipolar, and I have had moments in my life that I wanted to kill myself.
Damn.
But going to a show, and it's so much privilege. I saw like I'm not bragging, I just appreciate it, but I got to see Cox Power at CBGB's.
That's crazy.
like what I mean, I got to be at in a stage like I was a kid and like we were supposedly doing security, but I'm like, I see a video of the angelic officers in civis and I see myself lighting a cigarette on the side, like on the last row.
Dude.
Like, but for me, this is more than bragging. Is like it's so like it's like sometimes I want to pinch myself and say, "What the fuck is this?" You know, and
Oh,
that's what I want. Like for example, I'm doing May 30th, Oppressed and Nevada, and I'm like, I been after Roddy Moreno for like 5 years. I convince him and everything, and I when I got it, I was like, and then Nevada, I also been forever. Like a lot of people don't know them in the United States, but
oh,
there
they're
are
good.
there are seminal 80s boy band. That show is something that people even that were in the scene in 1980s had not seen in the same stage. And it's the first time of both in the US.
That's
And one
so
thing
badass.
like Navad was crazy this story because I was at a tattoo shop. I met this guy that was Italian, like I and we were like talking, and I'm like, "Oh, you're from Bologna. One of my favorite bands is there." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the father, like the father of my friend used to be the original drummer, and he's still friends with them." And he got me the contact. And
Whoa.
this guy loves so much. Like he's not playing with them, but he loves so much what he did, and the band means so much that he went by himself and got them like work it out like all the cut.
Yes.
And I tell you, if you look at my email, I had written like 10 emails and didn't work, and this come out of nowhere. Like it's just, and it also is when I told them they're like, oh, we would like to play the Oppress show. I'm like, because I wanted for the fest, but when they said we want to play the press show, I'm like, this is something, regardless of if it gets like the thousand, like the capacity of the place packed or not. This is something that I'm like, what the fuck? I'm
No,
seeing
that's
my
yeah.
heroes on the stage,
Right,
and I'm
right.
like, I'm gonna fly with them to Pittsburgh, which I have a lot of heart for the play for the show in Pittsburgh because I gotta say, out of like Oppress is a political band that has
Yeah.
a strong stance, and Adam from No Time has flown the has spoken and has put that flag out more than anybody in the last 10 years, 15 years. And he is like somebody that has worked so hard. And a lot of people is like, Pittsburgh, why Pittsburgh? I took the decision and I take the like I want Adam to have it, and I want them because of Skullfest. You saw the oil show at Skullfest.
Dude, it was awesome.
It was
Amazing.
amazing. Then
And Adam's awesome too, by the way.
Adam is like one of the like one of the greatest people in the scene. Like I whenever I go there, if you tell me to stay in like the most fancy hotel or to stay at their house, they're like the best hosts ever, like the best people. It's like always great to be around. Like people like that make you wanna do it. Like also people like I had a blessing that was I went to Crash Fest a few years ago, and I love Comintern like French Oi. I
They're very good.
I've been listening French Oi since like 1998, 97.
Damn.
But because that like in other countries we got access to, we appreciate it more.
Right.
Like anyway, we had to translate to English. Why weren't we gonna translate from French? You know what I mean? Like we didn't had that as like, oh, it's too difficult, whatever. No, we just wanted to listen. And camera silence is something that has been in my life since like the story of the guy, everything of that. I
Oh, I
sometimes get like a
love
little
that.
like cold oil. What the fuck? I'm like French oil and like chaos in France. I don't know if you've seen that compilation.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's that's like that's next to the Bible for us.
Let's go. That's a great comp. All that French stuff is great too, and I obviously haven't been into it as long as you have, but I have a great and sincere appreciation for that music.
Then when I went to Crush Fest, my goal was I'm gonna bring Sect to the West Coast, to the East Coast, and I put my that homework, and I was gonna start driving tours, and they gave me one of my favorite bands that they gave me the opportunity to start my business as a tour driver.
That's awesome.
And I drove with them. I met, and like thanks to them, I drove Claim Choice, and I have met all these people that have built everything that I'm doing right now. Like, what I
Hell
mean is,
yeah.
it's like I was telling you about the the first fest. The first fest came organically. I think I had the Prowlers
Nice.
playing, Prowlers, Hop City Stompers. I think I don't remember the lineup right now, but I had one day that, and then I got a call. Hey, Beton Army and Liberty and Justice are doing a small run in the East Coast, and it was the day before, and I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna do a fest. We're gonna put them both together. Then we had a bunch of local bands. Then we had Liberty and Justice and Beton Army headlining one night, which was amazing. And but they are the reason why I decided that. And I just met those guys that time, but it just it just built organically. It's nothing like I had planned it totally. Like I just decided and it worked out. It's funny because sometimes people is like, oh, there is a lot. Like he probably is making a lot of money, dude.
No,
This
I
this
can't
is
imagine
like
you're making any money doing this.
this is just, and as I said, like we have, I I take a lot of risk, and I take, like if I see it and I see myself that is gonna work, I make it work. And right now I find a partner on that festival that is Mike from Vaccine that is insist on punk, and we both are dreamers, and we both like have this view that we're gonna do it, and it doesn't matter how we're gonna find. And I mean, sometimes I'm like, if I if I lose, I'm gonna be paying with money that credit cards or anything like that. I have how to, like, or the venues, like I thought I have good help with the venue. Then in the worst case scenario, they back me up or anything, but it hasn't happened. But I'm sometimes like I'm like walking with the gas money to home, or like,
Right.
you know what I mean. Or sometimes it's like, damn, I guess I'm making home dinner home because I'm not like from the show, but I don't care. Like it's just so awesome to see this coming together. It's
Well,
just
I think there's a lot of parallels in what you're doing and why, and what I'm doing and why. And I think that's probably the reason that the universe put us together, because we're doing the same kind of stuff, different things. I'm doing mine on the internet, you're doing yours at shows and stuff, but we have the same desires and the same feeling. Like when I have the same feelings, I don't know why I'm doing the things I'm doing. I'm very fortunate to do it. I don't make any money really, but I love doing it, and it's really great to be able to like catalog these shows and bring people on to talk with me for a little while. It's exactly all the stuff you were saying. I feel exactly the same about it, and I'm excited that you're doing this stuff. I'm happy for you, and I'm very excited for it.
yeah. It's as I said, it's like I think we are lucky. I think we I find like what I mean. As I said, everything great friendships, and is great friendships is like the best people that I have met is due to this.
Right?
The
Yes.
people that I love is like, besides my parents, is through this. You know what I mean? I think I have more closer relationship with punk than 99% of my family,
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
and
No,
they're
definitely.
they're my chosen family.
Right, right. Well, that's why they're so close to you because you chose them. You don't choose your mom and dad, so you may not even talk to your mom and dad. But if you choose to be around a group of people all the time, it's because you've got some kind of common thread running through the whole group of people. And yeah, man, I can't tell you how excited I am to come up there, man. This is
Yeah,
going to be a big fest. Did you say that you had another band that you were going to talk about playing this fest this year? Was there somebody else that's coming on board?
yeah. Well, what I mean, as you see in the flyers that were before, there is it says a special guests in between the kids and Utah on Friday. We were um we were waiting for confirmation of a band that I'm super excited. For me, it's one of my favorite bands on right now, and it's also one of the greatest people in the scene right now, like Graham. It will be Homefront, and Graham is
Yes.
amazing. What I mean is, it's just they wanted to play. I had the opportunity to work on the first show that they played
Wait, like ever?
in no in New York City.
Okay, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
No, ever no. I wish bad in New
Right?
York City. Like their first time there, they played for Crown Court with Crown Court. Like they closed that night. They headliner, but it also fell on my lap because they kind of I had Crown Court and they kind of reached us, so they didn't compete. Like like they were
Okay,
nice
yeah,
enough
yeah.
to reach us, but I was like, holy shit, I'm doing the first show in the states of New York City of home front, and at the moment it was. I remember Nation was out, and that song was like so good, and it also they play a music that it's so related to oi and skinhead music that
Mhm.
people don't realize it. How the post punk, the new wave, like what I mean. He was talking about Nation and how they came from a song of the Angelic Upstairs, which people don't see how oi went into like supported like mixed with a lot of new wave at the time,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's just they're playing something unique. Like they're a really unique band.
Dude, I love that band. Like when you told me that, I was like, "Oh!" Like I cannot wait. I've seen them one time and I've had Graham on the show one time. I love Homefront, dude. I cannot wait. But Judah was the one that got me like I've never seen them and I've been listening to them for quite a while and I was real excited for that. This is going to be a crazy show.
Judah was another thing that was a coincidence. There was a band that we had to drop, and it was gonna play Saturday, and then we were like looking to replace because we were gonna announce, and 2 days before everything went down with that band and everything, just we had to stop the announcement,
Ugh. That
and
sucks.
it sucked, but it just was weird because we had to change everything because every band that we were trying to get to replace them wanted to play the other day, and we had to
Oh,
call
yeah.
bands, change schedules, the whole everything, redo it again, basically, like change everything. And then it happened that Judah was playing a fest in the West Coast, and like some like in the look we Mike reached like end up reaching their manager, their booking agent, and it just from there worked out. But it was something out of nothing. And like what I mean, it's like the same with the kids. Somebody says, "Oh, they're playing that same night," and I remember Mike is like, "Relax, relax," because I went like, "How are we gonna compete to the kids? Like, I don't want to like I also want to be at both shows." And we work it out,
Right?
and we work it out, and they came along. Everything has has been, and it also is like having the partnership with Mike is been, he has a different view. Like, for example, he was telling me about annihilation time, and I
Okay.
didn't knew them well. And I was like outside of the states, and is there don't seem that big. And I did like they did when Kicho, and they have got the attention of so many people, and it's strange eclectic because they are playing after Crocs, which is
Okay.
a classic oi band, but it just it's everything has come organically.
So who is Mike? Is he your partner in the
Yeah, it's
production company?
he
Okay,
was
okay.
he was no he has his own company.
Okay, okay, okay. I thought I missed something there.
It's he wasn't working with me in the fest before, but him and I have been close because he also drives vans, and then
Okay, okay, cool.
I we start doing co-productions. We did the Templars together. He's helping me with the
Yeah.
Oppressed, and we did Templars with Mess. And to
Oh
be honest
man.
with you, like what a show!
That
What a show!
yeah, that sounds
And
like a great show.
we were like we took a risk because a lot of people told me like, "Are you crazy?" I put Mess to headline in New York with the Templars.
I mean, right now the Mess is a pretty big band. You'd want them to headline.
Yeah, but it also is like New York City. It's like the band, the emblematic band. A lot of people and a lot of the older crowd doesn't know Mess.
Yeah.
And I
Yes, it's no disrespect to the Templars. I mean, I remember whenever Blink 182 were touring with Bad Religion, which I thought was weird, but Bad Religion was opening for Blink 182, and I was like, what? And it sometimes you just play where you play. The band probably doesn't even care.
no. Actually, like somebody from other places that are more like, oh, you gotta like more gang mentality. That were like, did you ask this? And I'm like, no, because I know that they're gonna be, and they were cool. You know why? Because it also is. You gotta when you create a show, you gotta know the the climax. You cannot put a band that is slower than the other unless it's in the middle of the build that the climax is gonna come back. But
Right.
you cannot put a slower band closing when you have a dynamic band playing before. Like if the Templars are slower, are more like the more classic oi, Mess
Right.
more moved. Then you need it if you had people like dancing or Mess. When the Templars come, they're gonna be like tired. And
That's a really good point. The whole vibe of the band is different. Like the Mess is much more up tempo. Like they're more like gang vocally, like shout, sing along, maybe mosh a little harder, but Templars are more of like a mid-paced, straight up classic oi band. That's a really good point. I never thought about it like that.
that day something happened because my risk, my thing, it was like the old people don't know Mess, they're gonna walk out. Well, there was a group of people that tried, like they stood in the back, like let's see who they are because they are like no internet people. They're like from the classic days that you had only like
Yeah.
just stay listening to the same 90s,
Oh,
80s dance.
like yeah, I know a lot of people like that.
But they walk like, and they are like, let's check. I saw them walking back in
Hell
when
yeah.
like two songs down Mess, they were like on it. And like when I mean Mess, it's amazing. We did a surprise show at Cinco de Mayo.
Oh
It's a
wow.
Mexican restaurant,
Hell yeah.
and that I love that place is because when in New Brunswick, New Jersey, no place want to book hardcore or punk. This family that has a Mexican restaurant, they are not nothing to do with punk or hardcore or anything, but the kids will go there all the time. They were like, use our restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can use a restaurant, and like some crazy shows have gone there. Like,
That's
even hardcore
amazing.
too. Like Hayward play, and they had to move it to the parking lot because the people didn't fit in the place. And like when Mesh played, there was a good crowd. It's like when I mean, this is what I like to do, to have fun, to bring a good time for everyone. And like what I mean,
It's important.
and that's what we're building. And then with Mike, we have found he has the more punk side, and that's also what I want. I want a united thing where people go to have fun, like what I mean, and bring the people that like life is problematic, there are difference and everything, but leave that outside of the show. I don't understand. I personally don't understand the people that go to a show and like to look tough and grind to other person, because if I go to see a show, I'm gonna see the bands that I like. I'm gonna smile.
Right.
I'm gonna go with like the happiness of yes, I might go violent on the pit and all that, but I'm not in my mentality is like I'm gonna enjoy the bands that like this is more than like I'm not going to a social event. For me, it's not a social event. Yes, hang out with friends afterward, but for me is I'm gonna see bands that I like. I'm gonna get that music that when I was alone, when I was crying by myself or like pissed off, calm me down and show me that I wasn't alone. That's basically what it
100%.
is, and that's I don't know. You can see I'm really passionate about this.
Yes. No, that's why I keep smiling at you like a goober because I I think we're very similar people, and I'm excited to know you. I'm excited to form a relationship down here with you, and hopefully do a lot of stuff in the future. Are you? Is it? I don't know how it could not be, but is there a certain amount of priority in representing like Latin America within punk rock and bringing like different cultures together, or is it strictly about music for you?
There is both, but
Okay.
for both sides. Like you know what I mean? It's both sides because I gotta say, like when I was alone here and I didn't have a family, American punks opened their doors to me. And a lot of like the New York City punks, I didn't have anybody for holidays. They were my holidays. Like you know what I mean? A lot of the skins here were like bring me a family. Then I
That's
can
awesome.
be like like I like my culture, but I also think a lot of people put like there is aspects of Latin culture, but it also is like people don't realize that like here people are more clear heritages. Latin America is like we don't have a clear of our DNA because we came. Sometimes I know it sounds negative, but we're the result of rapes happening from the Middle Ages to
Jeez.
the Indians and all that. Because, like what I mean, the difference the Spaniards didn't came with women, the British came with their families. Then the Spaniards just reproduce with any like they will be reproducing like crazy, and that's why everyone is mixed in South America, and most Spaniards are mixed with Arabs because the time and Jewish people because the peninsula was taken by the
Damn.
Moors. All these things, then we're a mix, you know. Then I don't have that just like I sometimes don't have like I don't like much to be like Latino punk fest or like
Sure. Yeah.
I respect what they do and I admire what they do, but I personally is not my thing because I just want my blue friends, white friends, purple friends, whatever, having fun and respecting each other. And yes, there is privilege, there is difference, there is like opportunities and everything, but in the scene, we can see that without of having such a marked division. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
because most of us are broken somehow or another.
No,
We,
that's absolutely the case.
you know what I mean? It's like a lot of people is like tell me like, oh, but he's white. I'm like, yeah, and you don't know his story, and his story could be worse. And I know people that are Latin and are more millionaire than anybody that I know. Then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like we all come from difficult places. Like even sometimes with people that oh, that's a rich kid in the scene. some of those kids are away from their families and are away from that part because they had a hard situation that
Right.
driven them towards that family that is on the streets.
Yeah, money doesn't fix everything, so it's nice to have some sometimes. But I was just curious because I was born in Texas and I never really traveled much. I can't only imagine what life is like for somebody that immigrated here from South America and got all the way up to New York, and then you're doing this stuff for yourself. And I don't know, I'm happy for you, but I think it's important, man. I mean, we're living in a time right now where we're so I think we're just as culturally divided now as we've ever been. So I think it's really important to have people from all backgrounds come to a place where we can all hang out together, which is the reason I was asking that. So I was just curious if it was something that you thought about at all, because I think we need more
Well,
of that. It comes with the word unity, at least in my opinion.
well, well. What I want to say is the difference between, like, what I mean, society is always being divided,
Hmm.
and I feel that it's being forced to be diverse without of the proper way to do it. Punk
Right,
is
right.
punk is an example of diversity, but it's people that want that diversity. You know what I mean? You cannot force diversity, and people sometimes it's not just racism. It's like are scared because it's something different,
That's true. That's very, very
and
true.
and then it's like what I mean. You cannot force people to like each other when they were raised around all this, and then they see somebody that is, for example, you got raised quiet, relaxed, no noise outside, and you come to a neighborhood like that is Caribbean. I'm from the center. Bogota is really quiet. Then
Okay.
I go to a neighborhood that is Caribbean, Dominican, and it's like speakers all the time and everything. For me was like, what the fuck? And like I probably like, I don't know, I was like, oh, these people are savage or anything. But
Well,
for them, I was the savage. I was
right.
the different person. And we are all different, but we start working together. But when you force that you like for example your kids go to school, you gotta like that guy, you have to, and you have to, do you know what I mean? It's not organic. Punk is organic. Like I come, I see the black punk, I see the white punk, I see the Chinese, like anywhere, and we are like there in a mosh, and we accept each other because we want to, and that's the naturality of union and diversity. But I don't have sometimes problems that if people don't like for like because I'm Latino, that's a problem. They're missing out on me and I'm missing out on them. But I'm not gonna force them or start a problem with them. I'm just not, unless they wanna hate me or they do anything to promote towards me. You know what I mean? But
Right.
if they mind their business and they live their life, I have to respect it. That's their choice. But sometimes
Yes, yes.
it's even forced that it has divided us more because it has created this thing that people are trying so hard to unite that they divide more. That's how I feel.
I agree with that. Excuse me. I think forced anything is pretty bad. I don't want to be forced to do anything that I don't want to do, and I don't think you should force people to do things. I just think it's nice to have representation of all kinds within a big giant place that I'm going to go, and I think it's really cool that somebody from outside of this country that doesn't have millions of dollars can come over here and be able to do the things that they love. But yes, also forcing people to be around people they don't want to be around is not going to help anything. You go look at some of these other like neighborhoods, like in Houston, we have Chinatown. It's nothing but Asian folks out there, right? They called it Chinatown, not us. Like it's just they called it that. That's their neighborhoods. Like I don't see anything wrong with them having that neighborhood, right? But if they want to come to a punk rock show, come on in. So yeah, it's dude. I think you're doing great things, man. I'm really really happy for you. I'm
When
very
I
very
mean,
excited to come up there and hang out with you.
I have two loves, like no, actually three, because tattoos are for me. The
Do
tattoo
do
is
you actually do tattoos?
no. I just
No.
like when I go, like I used to sell my chins in Colombia. I used to like really like be involved with collecting books.
Okay.
I never tattoo is because I want to be the best right away. And then
Yeah, yeah.
when I did something wrong on somebody, my conscience kills me and I feel bad. And I just can, and then I couldn't, like, I block myself. But my passion is like listen, like I have a small tattoo book hobby that I like sell books and bring books from other places
Dude,
and
that's
put it
cool.
online. And the same with then do and I have that being a skinhead, being into punk, and being into the tattoos. And my biggest my I say is my girlfriend because it's like my most important passion is New York City. Like with it,
Hell yeah.
like the mix of that. Like a lot of people tell me, like, what are you doing? The city has changed. I don't know. That is something of this place that I truly, regardless of people like think it's nuts because it's expensive, is anything. I really want feel like that this is the place that I want to live and die on. Like what I mean, I love the craziness of this place. I even love that sometimes I gotta pay crazy rent and I gotta come out with insanity. But I know that in this city, I'm so privileged that I can hustle on the 25th and find a rent for the 30th, and I will do it. And I'm thankful of this place. And what I mean, as I said, like the shows that I seen, the the people that I have met, it's amazing. And it's also, but it also is. I appreciate also America, like driving with bands. Like it seems like Milwaukee, it seems like Toledo, Ohio. Seeing 10 people in a show, but those 10 people are going to see the show and enjoy it, even if it's not like in some places when the show is not crowded, people sit down in the back and look. No, in those places I saw how we're gonna go into the pit and it's 10 people in the pit, but they loved it. And then bands like I come into Sec play with not many people in New Jersey. And it's a band used to play in Paris with 1,000 people. They play with like only mostly the bands and few people, which was weird. But they played like if they had 1,000 people on it.
Hell
And
yeah.
that's the type of thing that seeing that my so-called heroes that now are my friends are playing in front of 10 people and they're putting the same heart as if they were playing and in I like a 60-year-old guy sleeping in couches and not carrying like just to play for the scene here. You know,
Dude,
like
most bands are like that. If you play in front of 3 people or 3,000, they're still going to play as good as they can. That's another thing I like about punk rock. Man, I'm telling you, dude, we're like the same person. I'm so happy to get to know you, man. Uh,
yeah.
is there
And
any? Go ahead.
I was gonna tell you one coincidence. I think I told you in the phone. It's like on those days I was watching before you wrote me. I was watching a lot of your interviews.
That's crazy.
Like and I was talking to my friend about it, and I'm like, guess who called me, who wrote me? And it was weird because I was watching your interviews, and I find something really important of you that there is no pretentiousness. You don't have a problem to say, I don't know that band. You know what I mean? You don't have a
Yeah,
problem to accept, like you're not too cool or not or like a lot of people that find the internet, they try hard to be like, yeah, this band is, who cares? You know what I mean? Like if I don't
right.
know, it's cool that like that deep dive in the Clash opened my mind a lot. Like
Well, man, be it, dude. Be authenticity is so important to me because I have like even now I have to force myself to behave that way sometimes because it's scary, dude. Like I have imposter syndrome really bad. Like I don't feel like I should be here. I don't feel like I should be able to do these things. I don't feel like I should be able to come out to New York and hang out with you guys. Like so the fact that I'm doing it, I'm like, all right, man. They like me for me. I don't have to pretend to be somebody, and also I don't want some young person that stumbles upon my channel to watch it and be like, oh, I have to know everything. I have to like all the cool stuff. No, dude, be yourself, like what you like. And all these there's a group of punk rock people, and this is the same in every single culture. It's not just punk rock. Every subculture has these people, these elitist types that no matter what you do or what you like, you're not going to be cool anyways. So just do you, and everybody that's actually worth a shit, people like you, Jorge, those are the people that are going to come in and hang out with you. So I sincerely appreciate those compliments, man. I really, really do. It means a lot, man. I feel just like you, man. I'm lucky to be here. I appreciate this, man. I love it, and I mean, there's a reason that the universe put us together so we can work together a little bit, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. I was coming to what you say. There is two people in this. They're hardcore more, but that opened my eyes towards what is to be real. And
Okay.
it's Vinny Stigma and Ian McKay. Why?
Okay. Yeah.
Because you run into Vinny and like he knows me, but like I remember once in Colombia, like I hadn't seen him in years, and he recognized me and went and like talked to me and hugged me, and he at the end of the night he went and like he's a neighborhood guy. He's like it was like close to the holidays and say send my greetings and wish happy holidays to your mom and your dad, and it's like from somebody like Vinny, like that I didn't expect him to recognize me or anything. And you run into him and like you see him at a bar, like, and he doesn't like once I got in trouble and he's like, just sit down next to me, and he got me drunk and say, like, you're safe next to me and don't worry about it. But like people like that. And Ian McKay was weird. I have written him 2 emails a few years ago for something, a chore or something that, and he responded to me right away.
Wow.
And then 4 years, like 2 years ago, I was going to DC, and I'm like, I remember his email, and I'm like, I'm gonna write to him, and I said I'm gonna tell him that I wanna go and to the Discord house, you know,
Yeah.
and then he answered to me, and he's but like in a matter of 5 minutes, it wasn't like no, like that night. No, actually, it
That's
was the same
awesome.
day. The same day he wrote me, and he's like, "Hey, you're welcome to come. I might be busy, but you're welcome to sit down and have take the picture in the front and knock the window to see if I have a minute. I go say hi to you." And
That's amazing.
I was going around the house by myself, and he came out looking like had to ask me like if I was what like what I was doing, like because I was like going towards like snooping towards the backyard, and like I'm at the Discord house. It's like, and then he came out and he said hi to me, and he took me downstairs. He showed me like, and it was like out of an interaction that was not like, and I felt like he took me to the warehouse across the street, and like what I mean, and it was so humble. Like I was in the basement, like almost hitting my head because of Ian McKay where minor threat started, and this guy was treating me like somebody normal, like he actually like it wasn't like it was a face to face relationship. It wasn't like me like looking at somebody, but I was looking to somebody that 15-year-old me, those two guys, 15-year-old me, that was God.
Right. Dude, that's insane. The fact that
And
he was taking his time out to go like hang out with you for a little bit and show you around is really cool. That tells
and
you a
he
lot
got
about his who he is as a person.
he sit down next to me and took a picture like in the same place and like with me. Like I have that picture. And I remember it's like probably the most famous like the picture that has gotten more like in my Instagram. And people are like, and what I mean is weird because a lot of people are like, don't write or don't try to reach him because he's not gonna answer to me. He answers every email and he
That's
answers
incredible.
every letter. Like he's famous for that. Anyway, yeah.
Dude,
But
that's
those
awesome.
taught me, and those are two people that are real part of like 40, 50 years of our scene.
Oh, bro, those are two of the most important people within like punk and hardcore and oi. Like, I mean, like Ian especially because he created a whole different subgenre like by accident. Vinny's a freaking bro. Those are two people that I would die to have on my show. Vinny is a guy that I've been trying to figure out how to get in touch with for a long time. He's always doing something too. Every time I see a little like image, it's like him walking through New York's doing some shit, man. He doesn't really sit still, I don't think. I think he's kind of always moving, dude. Perpetual motion. Just
Also, he's not an internet guy. You gotta get somebody that
oh, I can
help,
imagine.
helps him with that, and like, well, he's on like he's gonna be like 69, 70. Like
Yeah.
so, like what I mean. But there is something that they wrote at the Oppressed show. Somebody came with a story that in 1984, Vinny Stigma at his apartment gave him a copy of the Oppressed record. Like what I mean is like passing that for like receiving that, and like to think in 84 somebody like it's like this is full of things that are like amazing. Like I went with the Take on tour, and I went Lars Fredericks, and they were playing with all from Casuals, and I was like merch guy. The first thing every time he saw me is like, do you need anything? Do you like he would be driving, he would be like Lars Frederiksen would be the first one carrying the equipment and making sure everyone was okay. And
Dude, that's awesome.
that is speaks more than whatever. Like what I mean, it's just like I when somebody tells me I'm nobody, I'm like, dude, this dude care about me. Then I don't give a fuck. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, dude. No, man, all those stories really did make me happy hearing that stuff
Yeah,
because you think about these people, man, and like whether we want to or not, we put them on a pedestal. We kind of hold them in, high regard. And to hear that they're nice people, like when I got to meet Jesse Michaels, he didn't have to do the things that he did for me. And so it's nice to hear that people that I admire and that I have been a fan of for most of my life, are doing right by the scene because without us they wouldn't be who they are, but without them we wouldn't be who we are either. So it's really cool to hear just positive
to
stories, man. It's really, really nice,
the
man.
the amount of stories, the traveling. Know what I mean? I think it's gonna be probably like I'm close to the 30. Like since I heard first, to at least 30 years because I'm 45. But being in the scene, it's 27 years or less, and no doubt this is who I am. Like what I mean, I'm not living or I'm not changing this so-called stage for a lot of people because it's not a stage. This is
Well,
this is
I mean,
everything.
you can't be our age and still be putting on shows or still flying to a place I've never been to go film one and it be just a stage. So, I think this is a beautiful thing. I'm really happy for you. Time
Yeah,
is flying by.
yeah.
Before we get out of here, because I would love to talk to you more. Like I would like to have you on more if you have the time. Uh, what are I want to talk about the fest for just a minute before we get out of here because we didn't really talk about it a whole lot, which is fine. I wanted people to get to know you more than anything. We talked about it at the beginning, but like, so what are some of the bands that you're looking forward to seeing the most? Are there any bands on here that you haven't seen before?
Oh, let me see. I never seen Judah.
Nice.
I seen the kids, but I want to see them again.
I don't know
Uh,
those guys.
they are like a Belgium 1970s, 1980s band. Like it's like just I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna let you go and listen to them. They're like a classic sound, but
Nice.
they're really, really, really good. Um, I'm happy for the Texas. Like Texas has a big representation this year. Then it's also I'm gonna give you a hint because there is in the after show another Texas band that I want to see is going to play Bullshit Detector. It's also playing one of the after shows. I'm looking to see Albilda. I've been
Oh, dude, I'm coming up a day early just so I can see that band. I love that band, and I desperately want to buy a shirt and film them. Dude, we'll have to talk a little later about like getting it all figured out. Oh, something else you mentioned earlier about like the bands switching times and stuff. All the logistics that go into this, man. Oh my goodness, I've only put on a couple of shows in my life. I don't know how you do it, man. There's a lot that goes into setting a show like this up. This is a lot of bands, and I actually think it's great that you're spreading it out across 2 days, so that way, as it is. So okay,
the other band that I wanna really like, I'm excited is Crocs. They're
oh,
like a
I knew you were gonna say
classic band.
Crux.
Like what I mean is like something that, and it also is they're like the guy is so excited. He's coming since the first day because he wants to see Judah so badly. It's like
Yeah.
because he's a super fan of his late. Then he's like, I gotta see Judah.
Wait,
And
are those the same people?
no, it's just the
Similar
Slade.
music?
No, as late is like the beginning of that glam sound, and Judah
Oh,
is
okay,
like
okay, okay,
the,
okay.
the revival of it. No, they're like probably like 40 years apart of
Okay,
age.
good. Okay. I don't know much about Slade either, so I was just there's so many bands that I'm new to. It's always
Yeah,
I'm always learning something.
I gotta see because I'm like there is so many bands. Let me see because I need to see the flyer to Claim Choice. I love it. I'm excited for Bug People,
I
which
don't
is
know
a
those
band.
guys. Bog People's what I'm new to as well.
It's a punk band that Mike choose. The sound is really, really good from Portland. There is Long Knife. It's amazing. It's like more hardcore punk. I really like them. No Time is one of my like personally. I feel No Time is the best. Like I don't know. I call it all hardcore rock and roll because they mix a lot of things together, but they are amazing. No, like Pena Maxima from Florida is also one that I want to see. It's a lot. It's just
It's a really good lineup, dude. I am very very excited, man. Like it's a fantastic lineup, and the fact that you have a show the day before with Vilda is, I mean, it's ridiculous. Judah, the kids, I don't know them, but I'm interested to find out about them. Obviously, Homefront is going to be ridiculous. I want to see Lost Legion really bad because I've never seen them play,
oh,
but like,
oh shit! How I forgot. Look, I want to see Lost Legion too.
bro,
The
they're
Broken
so
Cubs,
good.
the Broken Cubs, No Guard.
Dude,
That is
okay, that's who I wanted to shout out. I wanted to shout out the homies real quick, man. Broken Cuffs, Liberty and Justice, Concrete Elite, Bullshit Detector. Those are all friends of mine. And I've talked to the dudes in Lost Legion, so I consider those guys extended family as well. I want as many people as they can to see these bands. Even No Time's been around a while. They're pretty big, but I want to. Broken Cuffs are a band that I just have recently become friends with and really, really appreciate those guys, and
yeah.
I love their music. So, oh, dude, I'm so excited right now. I can't
Broken
wait for the
Cubs.
summer.
Broken Cubs. I really like. They being on me. Like they want to play, and I
Hell yeah, they
think
do.
they had an opportunity of a show that night and I couldn't change it anymore. I was like, it had been so many changes, and I didn't want to also, if I had to change it, I had to put them almost too open. And
Oh
I don't
wow,
think it's fair when you fly, when you came from far to open, it's not fair.
that's
And
nice. That's nice.
one of the things of the lineup, I want to say this, it's if you see the lineup of the main fest, I didn't book local bands because I don't want it to be the fest that a lot of people don't go to regular shows because they are gonna see the bands in the fest. I want people to go to the local shows and in the fest also have the opportunity to see bands that are
Oh,
not
I
local.
like that. I like that. That's good. That's good reasoning behind that choice. I like that. Hell yeah.
And I'm not a big fest goer because I'm like, for example, I cannot go to a fest that I have to walk back and forth between the stages because I have like I have my a meniscus tear. I will be
Oh, damn.
by the third band. I will be like dying of pain, like you know what I mean. And it also is. I want the after shows are never gonna be repeating bands from the fest. The
Oh, that's
after shows
cool.
are all the after and pre shows are always gonna be bands that are like different things. And we're doing it is so people that come early have something to do. And it also is that week we are like we want to promote their show and support the show. But that week I think 2 days or one day earlier, Negative Approach is playing in New York for those that want to
Oh,
come early. And Sunday is gonna be like there is an after show that haven't been announced.
okay.
Saturday night we're gonna have Bush Detector already dropped the, and we're gonna have like a at the end like a more like a get together. That will be like a salsa DJ.
Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah.
Like what I mean. We want to bring something fun and a weekend of fun and not expensive. I don't think I personally don't think that like $100 for 2 days and like the other shows are like 20 and
I didn't.
100
Yeah, I thought it was a
and
very, very good price point to me.
but we hope we packed it up that way all the bands that are coming are gonna get their respective pay because it
Right.
costs.
Yeah.
Like people gotta understand one thing: bands have to pay a lot of expenses to be at a show,
Yes.
and what I mean, I really think it's fair that people start giving them back and they start getting fairly at least to cover their expenses.
Right.
That,
Right. Yeah. It's. I mean, you got to make it worth them coming over here. I mean, especially if they're coming from out of the country. It's so much money to travel. So much money. Um.
yeah, that's
Well, I think I have to get into the. I can hear my kids coming in the house.
yeah,
So.
yeah. You're busy and I can go. Like there's so many
Oh,
things.
dude, me and you both, man. I do think we should do this again one of these days.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
down.
don't hang up quite yet. Don't hang up yet. Just give me a second. Is there any other bands that you want to shout out or anything that you want to put out there for people to hear before we get out of here?
Well, what I mean, there is so many bands that I'm thankful of. They might not be in the fest, but I'm really thankful of everyone that has supported. That it's and I appreciate that. Like all I want is people to come and have fun. Come and like it's just is for everyone. Is more like just enjoy it. It's a shout out to everyone. Like you know what I mean? I just
Hell yeah.
to all the bands because there is bands that are not playing that are like in like the guys from Syndrome, the guys from the young ones are like writing all the time and like happy of the fest. People here write all the time. It's just a sense of enjoyment to see people that are in bands. Like yesterday, Bill from the Beltons was in town and he was like so happy of the fest. And he doesn't live here and they're happy. And that means more than anything. Like, you know what I mean? This is why I do this to have people excited about it.
Well, there are people excited about this because I've been talking about it with a lot of folks. So I, for one, am incredibly excited and very grateful for you. And I look forward to a growing relationship and friendship with you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Whatever you
everybody that is curious about what's going on, go check them out on Instagram. This is On the Streets Again Fest 3. It's at July, I guess 17, 18, 19, a pre-show on the 17th in New York City. I think tickets are still available. I'll link that stuff in the description. But go check that out. Support your local punk rock bands. Support your local oi bands. Take care of your ska bands. Just go out and go to the shows. That's the most important thing. Show up. Go out there, hang out, dance, be friends, let loose, have a good day. And yeah, check us out on the next episode of Punk Rock Review Podcast. Appreciate it,
awesome.
everybody. Peace.